How to Win Friends and Influence People. Principle 1, never criticize, condemn, or complain. Part 3 and the final part here before we move on. My friends, there's value in this principle, probably more than we understand, more than we're ready to appreciate, because we often believe that criticism is constructive. You've heard that term, constructive criticism. This is what the author Dale Carnegie says about Lincoln when he wrote that letter that we talked about. He says, my guess, and this is only a guess, that after writing that letter, Lincoln looked out the window and said to himself, just a minute, maybe I ought to not be so hasty. It's easy for me to sit here in the quiet of the White House and order Meade to attack, but if I had been up at Gettysburg, if I had seen as much blood as Meade had seen during the last week, and if my ears had been piercing with the screams and shrieks of the wounded and the dying, maybe I wouldn't be so anxious to attack. If I had Meade's timid temperament, perhaps I would have done just what he had done. Anyhow, it is water under the bridge now. If I send this letter, it will relieve my feelings, but it will make Meade feel to justify himself. It will make him to condemn me. It will arouse hard feelings and impair our future relationship. My friends, think about constructive criticism. My experience with criticism, this is mine. Most people know what they're not good at. What they struggle with is knowing what they're good at. They know what they're not, they struggle with what they are. What if we tried this approach? What if we tried to give people compliments instead of criticism? They need the self-confidence. If you give them a compliment, they will take that appreciation. This has been my experience, and they will use that to go fix the things that they're not good at. I've proven that time and time again in business, family, personal relationships. It works. It wasn't Thomas Edison, it was Theodore Roosevelt said this. He said, I used to sit in the Oval Office, and every time that I would confront a difficult situation, he says, I would turn around and look at my painting on the wall of Abraham Lincoln and ask myself, how would Lincoln handle this? And he says, it would usually work its way out if I followed Lincoln's advice. So next time you and I have that kind of an issue, the author recommends we pull a $5 bill out of our pocket, look at Lincoln, and never criticize, condemn, or complain. And you, my friend, will begin to develop the habits that attract people and build people in your life.